Hey y'all, it's your boy Colin. I want you to meet one of my homies, Hank. Hank's a reporter at one of the local network affiliates up in Philadelphia. He doesn't like it that his hometown, my hometown, Wilmington, Delaware, made another top 10 list of one of the most dangerous cities in America. Hank don't like that. Well, here's what Colin don't like. Colin don't like it when reporters take the bait, hook, line, and sinker. The bait being denial, deceit, and delusion. So let's see what Hank's take is on Wilmington. Then I'm going to show you what a sucker this reporter really is.
Find out that your hometown just ranked as one of the worst places in the country to live. One website placed 2 cities in our area in the best of the worst. But our Hank Flynn says he's not buying it.
It's no activities, it's no programs, it's no events, it's nothing to keep people going.
Hey, it's Hank. I'm up in the Hilltop neighborhood of Wilmington, Delaware, which recently earned the dubious distinction of being named the 10th worst city to live in the nation. My take is, what good are lists like that anyway, and how would the people know? Statistics, mainly compilation of poverty, jobs, education, violent crime. Ayanna says that last one is a Wilmington curse.
I agree with that only because it's the crime. The crime rate is horrible.
The list is courtesy of 24/7 Wall Street, which does research and publishes lists like these.
I would have to question the numbers and where they got this information from.
Terry Walls is a Wilmington native, loves his hometown, and works with the Wilmington Peacekeepers Association. They focus on conflict resolution between local kids.
We ask you to think. Think about the things that you could be doing, thinking about the things that you could be losing if you would go ahead and pull that trigger.
On the way back to Philly, I thought I'd hit Camden, which placed 48th on the list. Camden's been at the top of some of these lists for so long that maybe 48th's a good thing. Welcome to Camden, New Jersey. Do you think Camden's getting any better?
No, it's not. Camden is not getting any better.
Okay. Well, on South Broadway, she's got a case, but on the waterfront, she's wrong. Camden has gotten better through sheer force of state will and a lot of money. A shimmering new Sixers practice facility, good shows at BB&T Bank Pavilion, even got your USS New Jersey. I don't care what you say. That's cool. Bottom line, cities are neighborhoods, and some are better than others. When you rank worst cities, you stigmatize them, paint them ugly for people who've never been there, and you dismiss the thousands, the millions of great people in those towns. Camden and Wilmington aren't bad. They have challenges, complicated ones, but that might not translate to mouse clicks as well as top 50 lists do. I'm Hank, and that's my take.
How'd you like it when Hank was talking to the peacekeeper? I mean, what could be wrong with a peacekeeper? Good Lord, we need him, don't we? Guess what? These guys aren't interested in keeping peace. They're interested in protecting criminals. First time I ran into the peacekeepers, it was at a rally for somebody running for mayor, one of my brother's buddies. So I tagged along, saw what was up, saw a few of the peacekeepers, and I said, they're giving out some flyers. I said, hey, can I see one of your flyers? They kind of gave me a weird look, but they gave me one. And here's what they gave me. They gave me a flyer with instructions on how to deal with police. When confronted by police, do the following. One of the first things you should do. Do not talk. Give your name, your address if you happen to be in an unusual place at an unusual hour. Say you will answer no more questions until your lawyer gets there. That's kind of a weird attitude for a peacekeeper, isn't it? I mean, if there are people committing crimes, if there are people committing violence, and Lord knows this city is chock full of them, higher density than just about anywhere else in America. I mean, shouldn't Hank and his peacekeepers, shouldn't he want them to kind of give it up to the cops? The answer is no, and Hank doesn't even know why the answer is no, because Hank doesn't know anything about anything other than he's in full denial of deceit and delusion and wishful thinking about what's going on in his old town of Wilmington, Delaware. Why don't we check out what the peacekeepers are up to from their website? Due to the recent national attention of police misconduct and the controversial shootings of young black males, police and community relationship is at an all-time low. The lack of trust and respect with the police, or the them versus us, is not new. It goes all the way back to the civil rights era. And they talk about how they would see cops doing all these bad things to black people for no reason whatsoever. These images were seen all across America and left a bitter taste in the mouths of black Americans across the country. Ready for the money graph, Hank? We no longer view the police as friends and helpers. We see them as foes or enemies. Now, we saw Hank do two shot location shots, one in Wilmington, one in Camden. At both shots, there were cops on the scene. Do you think that is a coincidence, Hank? Hank, did you tell the cops you were going to be down there in this ridiculously dangerous neighborhood? To do a story about how this ridiculously dangerous neighborhood is not really ridiculously dangerous, especially for white people? Did you really do that, Hank? Are you really that goofy? You know, Hank, that neighborhood you were in Wilmington and Camden, they're both only about 25, 30 minutes from where you work. Maybe 35. Both of those places you can get a house for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. You pay more than that in 1 year for rent, Hank. You're probably living in a place costs $2,000, $3,000 a month rent. So you pay twice in rent in 1 year what you could pay for a house and own it outright. Why is that, Frank? Why aren't you living down that place? Why aren't you living with all the misunderstood people, Hank? All those people that people like me are stigmatizing. Why, Hank? Do you have a take on that, Hank? Do you have an honest take? Or are you just too afraid to tell it because you don't want to make the black kids angry?